Hello, Helen. Are you finished at work yet? If not, let me know when you're planning on being finished as soon as possible.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm all done for today. I'm just going to make a quick stop at the store and I'll be on my way home.
Oh, you're going shopping? Then buy me 3 rolls of duct tape while you're there.
You need duct tape? I'm pretty sure we have some in the house. Try looking in the top drawer next to the refrigerator. There should be a roll in there.
I wasn't looking for your input, Helen. I know we have a roll in the house. 1 roll isn't enough. That's why I'm telling you to buy more. Now get back here with that duct tape as quickly as possible. We need to get ready to move.
Get ready to move? What are you talking about?
You mean you don't know? Oh, didn't Lucas tell you?
No, I haven't heard anything about moving. Oh, are you moving, maybe? I know you've been looking to downsize for quite a while now.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm not anywhere by myself. Our duplex is finished, so we're all going to move in together. But if you don't feel like living with my son and I don't feel compelled, you are more than welcome to live anywhere else you'd like. You could even move to another city for all I care.
Wait a second. Our duplex? What duplex?
The duplex my darling son Lucas built for me. The house I'm living in now is so dreadfully inconvenient. The stairs are too steep, the doorways are too narrow, and the flooring is practically like an ice rink. And you two need to think about your future as well. When you have kids, you want them to have plenty of room to run around and play, don't you? It's going to be great for all of us. So Lucas decided to buy a house and renovate it into a duplex. Wait until you see. You're going to positively love it, I'm sure.
Hold on just 1 second. This is the first I'm hearing of any of this.
Oh, well, I guess I'm the one who gets to break the news to you.
But this is a lot to take in. He bought a house and renovated it? That sort of thing would take months. First, he had to go look for a house, go and see it in person, negotiate with a realtor, and that's not even including the time it would take to renovate it.
Indeed, Lucas has been working incredibly hard for the last 6 months to make it all happen.
Well, how did Lucas pay for it? Don't tell me he took out a loan.
You'll have to ask him about that. I haven't the foggiest. But what's the big deal? There's no need to worry about the money anymore. The house is finished. It's not like you'll be paying anything for it anyway. I don't see any reason for you to be concerned about anything.
There are plenty of reasons. Lucas doesn't have enough money to buy and renovate a house like that.
Apparently he did, because the house got built. Tell me, Helen, are you like this all the time? Complaining and throwing fits like this over every little thing? I feel so sorry for Lucas for having to deal with you all the time. You are such a control freak, really.
Mom, you aren't lying to me again, are you? If you are, you need to tell me the truth right now.
Well, I never. When have I lied to you, Helen?
Last month? You told me that an old friend of yours was sick and needed money for a life-saving operation. Then you left the house for a week because you were going to go see them in the hospital. Then when you came back, you had a full-body tan and the tags on your suitcase had said you would come from Hawaii.
You sure know how to hold a grudge, don't you? That's all ancient history, water under the bridge. This time, I am definitely telling the truth. Go ahead and ask Lucas. He'll confirm everything I told you.
I'll talk to him after I get home then.
In the meantime, don't forget to pick up that duct tape for me. 3 rolls, Helen, not 2, 3. The cardboard boxes I ordered have already arrived, so I don't need any more of those.
Good morning, Mom. Are you awake yet? I hope I'm not disturbing you.
It's 10 a.m., you ridiculous girl. Of course I'm awake. What do you take me for, a college student?
I was just making sure, that's all. You were still asleep when I left the house earlier.
Well, excuse me for being a human being. Maybe you can live on little to no sleep, but the rest of us need our rest to get through the day. Now, what is it? What do you want? I hope you didn't text me just to see if I was awake.
I just wanted to tell you something. We're not moving anymore. It's been canceled.
What? What do you mean we're not moving? The moving company will be here to pick up our things the day after tomorrow. And you're going to cancel it on such short notice?
This is the result of several days of discussions with my husband. Lucas took the money he used to buy the house out of my savings account without my permission. So we're putting off moving into the new house for the time being.
Your savings? Your husband and wife, you mean our saving?
No, the money in that savings account was what I had earned back when I was single. It is not ours, it is 100% wholly and truly mine.
Oh, I see. But your savings alone couldn't possibly have been enough to pay for an entire house. Lucas must have put up the lion's share of the price himself. Are you really going to get so upset over him using a few $1,000s or so of your money? Don't be so childish, Helen. It's embarrassing.
You're welcome to think whatever you wish of me. All I'm here to do is to tell you that the move is off, period. My husband and I will decide what we're going to do with the house another time.
The move is not off. What do you think you're doing? Your husband told me that he had already terminated the lease on your current apartment. You have no choice but to move out.
I am aware that he did that without my permission as well. That's why we're currently talking with the property manager to see if there's any possibility that we could renew the lease. We've always had a good relationship with them, so I don't think that they'll have any issues with staying after all.
This is unacceptable. I won't stand for this. We are moving into the new house, and that is final.
You are in no position to be making that sort of decision for us, Mom.
Hogwash. I have just as much say in this as you do. Regardless, this was all Lucas's decision, not yours. You need to hold your tongue and respect your husband's wishes.
Mom? The house was built using my money. So, no, as a matter of fact, the only person who has any right to make decisions regarding that house is me.
You will not stop me from moving into that house. I've already packed up all of my things. It's all in cardboard boxes.
Me? That's for the best, actually. You can just go ahead and leave all that stuff just like it is. No matter what happens with the house, I doubt we'll be living here much longer.
Oh, then why not simply move into the new house? I mean, think about it, Helen. You are now the proud owner of a brand new house. No more renting, no more landlords, no more nosy neighbors. My son worked so hard to build that house for me, and we're not even going to live in it? That's absurd.
The only absurd thing around here is my husband's thought process, if you ask me.
You really are an awful, awful woman, Helen. This sort of reaction from you is precisely why my son had no choice but to keep it a secret from you.
Excuse me?
Lucas works all day and night to make his business a roaring success. Meanwhile, you simply work some menial part-time job like a high school dropout. And yet you think you have the right to micromanage every single thing Lucas says or does?
I'd say I'm rather lenient with him considering the circumstances.
Lenient? Is that a joke? You keep Lucas on such a short leash, he can barely even move. Now that Lucas has exercised his rights to do what he sees fit with his own money, you have shown yourself for the tyrant that you are. So he used some of your trivial savings to buy a house. So what? You should be glad that he doesn't kick you to the curb right here and now. What would you do without him supporting you? You need to examine yourself and realize just what sort of position you're in.
Indeed. I'd say it's vital for everyone to have a firm grasp of their own position, including you.
Then stop talking back to me like a teenager. You would be lost without my son with your pitiful part-time income. Now, get back to your apartment this instant and pack your things.
Hello, Mom. I thought you should know that we're going to be moving again soon. So you had better put all of your things back in those cardboard boxes.
What are you going on about this time? We've already moved into our new house. Where do you think we're going to go now?
My husband will tell you later on.
When are you going to start making sense? Give me a straight answer. Are you threatening me?
Perish the thought.
I suppose you don't have anything to threaten me with anymore, do you? Seeing as though we've already moved into our new house. And you poor thing, you were unable to renew your lease, weren't you? You just have no luck at all.
I couldn't agree more. My luck ran out the moment I married Lucas.
This is just disgraceful, Helen. You've lost completely. We're living in our new house, so all you can do is bitterly insult your husband? Oh, grow up. Your constant grumbling is absolutely ruining the mood. We're trying to enjoy ourselves. Would you please stop getting in our way?
I'm only going to get in your way one more time, and then I'll be out of your hair forever. That house is going to be put up for sale.
What? No. Our house is being put up for sale. The new duplex Lucas built for me? The one we're living in right now?
That's correct.
Again with that nonsense. You know very well that I will never consent to such a thing.
I'm afraid I don't need your consent. My husband has already given his. Not that I needed it.
He did?
Yes, and he promised me that the two of you would be completely moved out within the week.
But why would he do that?
We talked things over, and he agreed to my terms.
I was wondering why the two of you had been staying up so late recently. I've been hearing your voices coming from the living room until midnight or later for the last several days. Is that what you were doing? Talking about what to do with this house?
Yes, Mom. The house will be put on the market the 1st of next month. Make sure you take all your things with you when you leave. Oh, and do take care not to damage anything on your way out. I wouldn't want to negatively impact the house's sale value.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be more of a troublesome girl. Well, if that's the way you want to play, fine. I'm getting a lawyer. I will never allow you to sell this house. An obnoxious, badgering woman like yourself doesn't deserve to live with a fine man like my son and a classy lady like myself. We're going to hire the best lawyer in the city and kick you out.
I'm curious, how do you plan on retaining the best lawyer in the city with Lucas's $500 a month income and your Social Security checks? You'd be lucky to be able to afford one of those DUI lawyers on TV.
$100 a month? What are you talking about?
That's how much he pulls in every month.
That's impossible. You're just trying to scare me again. I know for a fact that Lucas makes an incredible amount of money.
If that were really true, why would he need to dip his hands into my savings account? You should know that ever since Lucas launched his company, his income fell to practically zero. I'm the one who pays all of our monthly bills.
I feel sorry for you, Helen. You've been backed into a corner, so the only thing you can do is make up more and more extravagant lies. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
It's the truth, though.
You mean to tell me that you support the both of you with your meager part-time job? That's the most laughably false thing I've ever heard. You don't even know the first thing about money, do you?
For the record, the reason I'm doing my part-time job is because I want to go into business in the field in the future. I suppose you could call it research. I'm not paying bills with that job or anything.
I'm sick and tired of listening to your grandiose lies, Helen. I've put up with you this long only because you're the one my son chose as his wife. But I've had all I can take. Get out of this house as soon as possible. After all, if you're telling the truth, this house will be put up for sale soon, correct? Then you shouldn't have any problem moving out right now.
Well, yes, I was planning to move out in the short order from the beginning. I'm planning to divorce Lucas as well.
Oh my. So that's another thing you two have been talking about then. Oh, this is like a dream come true. I get to live in this gorgeous house, and I'll finally be rid of my son's hen-pecking wife. Oh, things are looking up for me.
I'll bring the necessary divorce papers to the house tonight. Would you mind signing them as a witness?
It would be my pleasure. I'll sign as many times as you'd like me to. Oh, this calls for celebration. I think I might order food from that expensive sushi restaurant that just opened up nearby. Oh, I haven't been this excited in years. I feel like a schoolgirl again. Hello there, Helen. I was just talking to my son a while ago. He told me that you were telling the truth the other day. You really are the one who pays all the bills.
Uh-huh. I tried to tell you, but you just wouldn't listen.
What was I supposed to think? I couldn't believe a story as ridiculous as that. I thought your only source of income was your part-time job. I had no idea you were making that much money off your investments. Why didn't you tell me?
That's an easy question to answer. It's because I didn't want you to know.
If you would have told me, I would have treated you differently, though.
Trust me, I know. You would no doubt have been trying to mooch off of me at every opportunity. I wanted to avoid having the same conversation with you whenever you asked me to buy you food or clothes or jewelry or whatever else you begged me for. There was no way I was going to let you know. But now, at the last minute, that idiot went and spilled the beans to you.
I'm terribly sorry for everything, Helen. Please, won't you come back and live with us? I'd like to try and make it up to you. What do you say, Helen? Can we be a family again?
Lucas and I are already divorced. You were the witness when we signed all the forms, so don't tell me you forgot.
No, I haven't forgotten. It's just... Well, I see now that you're the perfect girl for my Lucas. To be bluntly honest with you, Lucas has absolutely no value as a breadwinner.
I am aware of that, yes. The $500 he pulled in each month was barely enough to pay for our groceries. And yet, he still had the gall to use all that money he pulled in on himself. He never contributed a single cent towards any of our living expenses.
I had no idea that was what was really going on. My son must have been a terrible burden on you for all these years.
It wasn't just him. You have been a terrible burden on me as well. Just as much as him, actually. Ever since the day we got married, you've been constantly on my case about this or that. Every time I tried to talk to you about the way you treated me, you'd brush me off and tell me I was being too sensitive. And let's not forget about all the other cruel things you've done to me. I haven't forgotten about a single one.
But that was before I knew that you were the breadwinner.
The fact that you would change how you treat me based on how much money I earn makes you sound like an even worse person.
I'm so terribly sorry, Helen, but I can change, I swear. You should see the state Lucas has been in ever since you left him. He barely leaves the house to work anymore. He's become nothing but dead weight. Getting divorced was clearly a massive, terrible shock to him.
Oh yeah? Imagine how shocked I was to learn my husband betrayed me and stole my savings. He wasn't always like this. Back when we first met, he was always a hard-working man. Then, after we got married, he suddenly got this crazy idea to start up his own company. It failed immediately, but he refused to give up the ghost, leaving me to support the family myself.
I'm sorry for that, too.
You don't need to be. I'm the one who agreed to marry him. It's my fault. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I'm sure that even if he hadn't bought that house, I still would have divorced him sooner or later. Even my patience has its limits.
Don't say that. I'm sure he could change if given the opportunity. Why don't you come by and talk to him? The two of you could work out your differences somehow. I know it.
Not happening. If you haven't even changed at this point, I can't expect him to either. The only reason you're texting me like this now is because you don't want to support him for the rest of your life, right? You just want to pass him back to me.
That's not entirely accurate. I just want to live with you again, that's all.
Well, unfortunately, I have no such inclinations regarding you. I'm not gonna be his sugar mama anymore.
You can't just abandon me like this. If something doesn't change, we won't have anywhere to live. We'll wind up homeless on the streets.
You and Lucas will have to figure out something for yourselves.
But that boy is useless. I'll end up having to do everything by myself. Please, Helen, come home. I'm on a fixed income and Lucas has no income. We can't live like this.
And there it is. You're really only concerned about yourself. Do you understand what position you're in now? You said I'd be lost without Lucas's income, but it was the other way around, wasn't it? After that, my former mother-in-law sent me messages at least once a day begging for help. Once the divorce was finalized, though, I blocked her phone number and that was the end of it. Since Lucas used my personal savings without my permission, he fortified any rights to receive any of our joint assets. We agreed to settle the score by selling the house he bought, and I would receive all of the proceeds. I don't think I'll be able to recoup all of the money he spent on it, but since I'll both be able to cut all ties with the two of them and not have to hand over a single cent of my hard-earned money, I still consider it a win for me. After getting kicked out of their lovely duplex, they moved into a rather small and inexpensive apartment together. Apparently, Lucas's work ethic has gotten even worse since then, to the point where he rarely leaves his room at all. So his mother is currently having to make ends meet for both of them with her social security checks. Eventually, something's gonna have to give. Either Lucas's mother will go out and look for a job herself, or she'll kick that useless slacker son of hers out of the apartment. But no matter what happens to them, it's officially no longer any business of mine. All that matters to me is that I never see either of them ever again. As for me, I'm living on my own for the first time in a long time, and I had forgotten how easygoing living by yourself can be. By the way, the part-time job I had mentioned earlier was as a barista at a cat cafe. My ultimate goal is to open my own establishment someday, and I'm working here to gain experience and knowledge in the industry. I think I've learned more than enough by now, so sometime in the near future, I'll be entering into the next phase of my long-term plan. It feels so good to be spending my money on my own goals and dreams, rather than having it all get washed down the drain by Lucas and his mother. I'm sure starting up a new business won't be an easy path, but I think I've saved up more than enough to at least get things going. Another thing, I've actually been wanting to have pets for some time now, but Lucas never agreed to it because his mother hates animals. So, with them out of the way, my first stop is the local shelter. I'm deciding between getting a dog or a cat, or who knows, maybe I'll get one of both. I'm so looking forward to being able to have my own cat cafe, surrounded all day by my furry little friends. But it's not gonna do any good to just fantasize to you all about my future. I've actually gotta get to work. Don't worry about me. As you've seen from my story, I am more than capable of handling myself in tough situations.